Hey guys, Mike here from Lunch Money Comics. It's the last Sunday of the month, which means it's time for CliffCon Comic Book Show. But this is a special one because it's actually New Year's Eve. So let's go inside and see if we can find something special to close out the year. It's packed. Wow. I've never seen it this packed, ever. There you go, we got Cliff cooking up burgers and dogs, everybody. How you doing, Cliff?
Mikey, how you doing, Mike?
Great, it's packed. I've never seen it like this.
Thank you. Yep, guys are coming out, spending money.
Yep, heck yeah. So
Show's going till 3.
Awesome. Well, I gotta start hunting and maybe I'll grab a burger on the way out.
You got it, Mike.
Thanks. All right. Sorry, guys. Hey. You got Jada. Hey, well, what's going on? There we go. Yeah, wow. We got some slabs here. All right, here's some eye candy to start off the show. Wow. It's pretty copy. You can hold it. Look at that. That's a nice copy. It is. Beautiful. Thank you. Let me take a look at it, yeah. It's in pretty good shape. How's it going? Wow, I really can't believe how packed we are. I can't even get through. Cool. Some Dave Stevens covers here.
Every day. I just like the blue, so I went with the blue. Yeah, it's like this big. Yeah, I got it.
All right, so we have a great local comic book creator here signing a book for my son Jack. Think he's gonna like it.
I hope so.
Look at that, signed to Jack with a remark and everything. Wow, thank you so much, man.
Every time. My pleasure.
All right. What?
Yes, it's right there, right there.
Just sitting here, it's crazy.
See anything good with it? No.
What? That's crazy. So Cliff just brought me over this sausage sandwich. I'm pretty excited to have this. Can't wait to dig in.
I thought I brought
We're always looking at this book. It's a real.
One of my favorite Steranko covers
This
here.
one's not tight. This one is. This one's popped a little bit on the outer one.
So I always love going to the show, guys. I ended up with a rather small stack of comic books, but there are a lot of good ones. I'm pretty happy to add to my collection. Let's go home and I'll show you guys everything that I found. So there you go, guys. That was the always awesome CliffCon that happens on the last Sunday of every single month down in Connecticut. I always look forward to going to it, and as you heard me say, this is a very special case because it was actually on New Year's Eve. But evidently, everyone had the same idea as me because the place was absolutely packed. I've never seen so many people go to CliffCon. All good things, guys. We definitely want people going to these conventions and picking out comic books. It shows the hobby is very much alive. And the biggest thing is I had a great time just meeting people and talking with people who watch the channel, vendors that I bump into all the time. I just love going, hanging out. Even Cliff himself, the man, made me lunch. What a great guy. So my original intent was to actually walk away with one bigger book to close out the year. That didn't happen. I saw plenty of books that I was interested in, but I just couldn't pull the trigger on anything big. Instead, I ended up with kind of a small budget stack of comic books that I think are actually pretty cool. But I actually got one more comic book after the show. I'll have to explain that to you guys in a second. But before I do, if you like this sort of stuff and you want to support the channel, head on down, like, comment, and subscribe, and follow me on Instagram under Lunch Money Comics IG. So first up, I have a couple of comics that feature the first appearances of Marvel Cosmic Beings. So when I was collecting as a kid, I loved the space side of Marvel. I love Silver Surfer. I love the big space epics. It just really captured my imagination. But I also really liked the big cosmic beings in the Marvel universe. And what really kind of helped this was that those Marvel trading cards I collected as a kid, they were cosmic being cards as well. And because they put the stats on the back, of course they are cosmically powered. Sevens, which is the highest number, the stats went to sevens across the board. And I've been looking for a lot of these first appearances still. Well, I happen to find a couple of them, and the first one's a pretty cool one. It's this. This is Strange Tales number 138 from 1965, written by Stan Lee, art by Jack Kirby. And this features the first appearance of the character Eternity. I have his card right here. Eternity is the embodiment of the Marvel Universe, one of the most powerful, absolutely. Some of you might have seen a rather disappointing version of him in Thor, Love and Thunder, but this is his first appearance in this book right here. Now, this is featuring Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Why is the embodiment of the Marvel Universe in a Nick Fury comic? He's not. The reason is because it's actually two comics in this, two stories, I should say. The first one features Nick Fury. The second one is actually Doctor Strange. And it's Doctor Strange who meets Eternity. So pretty cool. I ended up getting this for $25 from J&S Collectibles, which is a huge comic seller in New England. Really good guys. You saw a couple of really big books that they had I want to show off on the camera. Happy to get the first appearance of Eternity here for $25. Next up, I got this one from my buddy James at Brickhouse Comics. It was in his half-price keys box, and I got it for $20. And it's this. This is Thor number 133 from 1966. Once again, Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, and this is the first appearance of Ego, the living planet. Thor gets to meet Ego, land on him, talk with him, and of course, I have the card right here. And I'm sure a lot of people remember Ego from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. So $20 for this. Absolutely happy to pick it up, and I have two more first appearances in the Series 3 Marvel cards and two more of these Cosmic Beings. Very cool. Also, both these books, as soon as I got home, I started reading them. I love this stuff, guys. So very awesome right there. The next three books I got from the same vendor. His name is Bob. I bought comic books from him in the past. And I like going over to Bob because he has a lot of comics by my favorite new artist. Not a new artist, an old artist, but new to me, Dave Stevens. I've been collecting Dave Stevens since about midway through 2023. It's something I want to collect more of in 2024. I've been slowly adding to that collection. Bob had three books that I did not have. I was happy to pick up. The first one is this. This is Star Slayer number 3. This is a very collectible comic book, but it's not because of this Mike Grell cover. It's because these specific comics had multiple stories in them. This first one is Star Slayer, and the second one, shown on the back, is the Rocketeer. This is actually the second appearance of the Rocketeer. So I have his first appearance and his third appearance. I did not have his second. Happy to pick this one up here. The other two books I got, also Rocketeer books. We have the Rocketeer Special Edition. This one's from 1984 by Eclipse Comics. This is issue number 1. See fantastic art there with multiple panels by Dave Stevens. I've never seen this book before. Happy to get it. And the last one, this is pretty funny. This is The Rocketeer, the official movie adaptation from 1991. So obviously this is the comic adaptation of the movie, which in turn was an adaptation of the original Dave Stevens comics. But of course you see the cover. Despite the fact this is the movie adaptation, you still have the Dave Stevens art from 1991 on the cover with the American flag. Beautiful comic right there. So I got all 3 of these for, I think, $30 was what Bob had. He had a special deal going on. So $10 each. Happy to pick these up. They're really high grade. So all of these books right here that I just showed you, I got for a grand total of $75. So no huge book, but definitely good deals all around. I'm happy to add these all to the collection. I did get one more book at CliffCon though, but it's not for me. I always talk about on my channel that I think you should support your local comic book creators. It's a really difficult job, guys. Hard to get going off the ground. And there's a guy there named Matt Ryan. Not Matt Ryan, the former quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons. Matt Ryan, the Connecticut comic creator. And one of his main characters is named Brenda, who is a young girl who goes on kind of like D&D fantasy type adventures, and these are also good for kids. So I started to talk with Matt about his work, mentioned I had, an 11-year-old son who's into this stuff. He gave me some recommendations to get something for my son. But of all the books he showed me, the one that appealed to me the most was this one, because you can see what's on the top. It says CliffCon Edition. So this basically was created by Matt to help support CliffCon. So I love supporting local comic creators and my local comic book show. So I was happy to pay a little bit extra for this book right here. And because it was for my son, Matt was kind enough to autograph it to Jack and even put a little remark right there saying, go to your room. So I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, and the art is fantastic in this, guys. I'm actually looking forward to see what my son thinks. He's a very discerning kid. So, and if he likes these, I'd love to get more in the set. One more thing I want to add about Matt. He's coming out with a new comic soon, he mentioned, that was also a game involved, kind of like a role-playing game or a board game. I don't exactly remember, Matt. I apologize. But he loved D&D, so the fact it's sort of a D&D inspired game and a comic, right up my alley. I'm looking forward to that. I will put links down to Matt's socials in my description if you guys want to check out his work for yourself and buy a couple of these. Definitely give you the links I can. Definitely check him out. Okay, I have one more comic book to show you guys, but I didn't get it at CliffCon. I bumped into someone at the show named Neil. Now, although it was the first time I had actually met Neil face to face, I've been talking with Neil ever since my channel began. He was one of my earliest followers. He started reaching out to me right away, talking with me on, Instagram. And, we found out we collected a lot of the same stuff. We collected in the same places, same flea markets. He even, met Jeff from Comic Spa. Just one of those people I had been talking to for, a year and a half, but I never actually met. He bumped into me at CliffCon. We met face-to-face for the first time. But after the show, as we were leaving, he sent me a message saying, hey, I forgot. I actually brought some boxes of comics. They're in the trunk of my car. He brought them for like trade or maybe sell. So I met him in a parking lot of McDonald's, because there's nothing sketchier than looking in the trunk of a car at McDonald's, completely above board. It was comic books and it was really cool. And like I said, we have a lot of the same taste in books. He had a lot of awesome comic books I was interested in. But the one I ended up getting from him is actually a modern comic book and one that has been talked about quite a bit over the last couple of years. And it's this. This is the Young Avengers #1 from 2005, and this is the first appearance of the Young Avengers team: Kate Bishop, Patriot, Wiccan, Hulkling, and Iron Lad, who is also a Kang variant, by the way. And yeah, so this book has been hyped on and speculated on for a while because a lot of the seeds of the Young Avengers have been planted in the MCU. And spoiler alert, if you watch the movie The Marvels, they sort of had a little like Easter egg kind of towards the end, seeing them going towards building the Young Avengers team. Now, because of that and all the speculation, this book has been one that has been a little pricey over the last couple of years. However, I'm not one that's really into speculation or hype, and I didn't want this book because of any potential movie or show coming out. I wanted this book because I like the Young Avengers. Crazy, right? I think there's this sort of knee-jerk reaction with a lot of older collectors, not just my age, but certainly older, where whenever something new comes out, there's a pushback against it, where you can look at, the Young Avengers as just like another Avengers team. Why reinvent the Avengers? Or, Miles Morales, why have another Spider-Man? But we tend to forget that these titles could be good. And the Young Avengers are a pretty cool team. I like all the characters. They're unique. Although they are certainly, you know, based off of other Avengers characters, they all have their own personalities and pathos and in some cases power sets. I think they're really cool. I've wanted this book for a while, but because of all that hype and spec, it's kind of expensive and it's usually hovering around $100 or so. I was able to get this from Neil for $60. It's a high grade. That is right in my wheelhouse of what I wanted to pay for a modern comic book. So that's perfect. Neil, it was great to meet you. Definitely, I hope to bump into you in the future. We'll definitely should hunt comics together. And thank you so much for shooting me a text and let me know you had some good books. I really wanted this book. Happy to add this to my collection. So that's it, guys. Pretty quick video all around. Head on down to the comments and let me know which of these pickups you like the best. And let me know what you think of what I paid. And that is pretty much it. Keep hunting for comic books in strange and unusual places. Support your local comic book shows. Support your local comic book creators. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.